substances and substance abuse has been pretty pervasive throughout our existence. And the one concern that I have as we talk about the opioids is, we found so much mercy all of a sudden to see that, oh, well, people who are abusing these drugs, they need help, they need treatment. But when the same thing was happening, but with a different drug, such as the crack epidemic in the 80s, burning through black and brown communities, we were so willing to throw these people in jail and say that's their personal problem and forget the treatment aspect of it. So I'm glad that we're finally coming around. It's unfortunate that it took, opioids and, drugs to have to burn through majority white communities before we did it, but I'm glad we're there. As far as addressing the problem, really when we talk about drug abuse, it's really getting down to despair that people are in and they can't find a way out. So it's a much broader than just dealing with the drugs themselves, but it's dealing with the circumstances that draw a person to wanting to use.
Front page of the Racine Journal-Times today, police officers in Racine are going to start carrying Narcan, both because they need to be able to administer it and because they're often getting the secondhand effects when they're showing up to overdose incidents. I think this is a really good step. Right? I think that's certainly necessary. I also think we really need to be investing in education, in treatment, so that we can be supporting people to deal with these addictions before we get to the place where the police are showing up at their door. And I also understand this to be a challenge with the pharmaceutical industry and their lobbyists. I think we have a lot of people who are overprescribed.
Your opponent has said, in light of allegations of misconduct that surfaced last week, Representative Josh Zebnick should resign.
Yeah.
Do you have a position on that, sir?
Yes, I think he should resign too. Democrats stand for women. Democrats stand for African Americans. Democrats stand for Latinos. Democrats stand for everybody who's otherwise left behind.
I do think he should resign. I think what this demonstrates is a lack of respect for women. I think it demonstrates an abuse of power and authority. I think it should be troubling to everyone that leaders are abusing their positions of power in this way.
Is race an issue in this race?
Race is an issue in every race, whether we say it or not. So if we're not really talking about race, then we're not really talking about reality in Racine, in Wisconsin, and the United States.